Hello folks, this is Pastor Mike Hoggard, pastor of Bethel Church in Festus, Missouri, and head of Prophetic Research Ministry with another Watchman video broadcast. Who is it that showed up on national television, big, high-ranking news agency, the news that you can trust? Who is it that showed up on his program with Masonic insignia? Take a look at this. Guess. In fact, let me dissect the symbols first, all right? We have the compass or astrolabe. That is a Masonic symbol. Represents the masculine. It represents Osiris. We have look at there, we have a skull in there. The skull represents Osiris. It represents the God who has died and is awaiting resurrection. That's who that represents. And remember that Jesus died at the place of the skull. He's defeating the skull guy. Who's the skull guy? It's the Antichrist. And then we have a big circle around all of this, and it looks to me, and I'm reasonably sure because I've seen this symbol before, that we have the symbol of the Ouroboros. They say it's a symbol of eternal life. They say it's a symbol for a resurrection, as it were. It's the snake with the tail going into its mouth. Manly Hall, Albert Pike, all of the other New Agers, they say that the mouth, of course, is the sacred feminine, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. The tail would be the masculine, and they're fused together. The sacred fusion, that when the sacred fusion takes place, that's when the opposites are joined together. Good and evil, left and right, male and female, the divine and the human, the sons of God and the daughters of men. When they're fused together, then man is going to be better. We're going to have a better world. We're going to have a new age. Man is going to be immortal. We're going to be gods, like Ray Kurzweil said, when all of these things take place. And if you haven't guessed yet who this is none other than Glenn Beck, the Mormon / Mason. Oh, he's not a Mason. If he's a Mormon, he is practicing Masonry under a different veil. That's what it. In fact, here he is. Look at his little cummerbund there. Skull and crossbones. Is he a member of the Skull and Bone Society? No. But the idea of symbolism. And by the way, this is his magazine, Fusion Magazine. Two things fusing together. When you have, let's go back to the Hegelian dialect. You ever heard of the Hegelian dialect? I think it's Friedrich Hegel, German. Some good things have come out of Germany. I love bratwurst, all right? And I love sauerkraut. And the two together are just really good. But anyway, German gave us a lot of bad guys. And Hegel was one of them. And Hegel had this idea of how to create a new world or a new system of things, or how to get something brand new going. You take the old and you take the new and you mash it together, or you take opposites like creationism, and you take the opposite of evolution and you mash them together, and you have a new synthetic doctrine called theistic evolution. And just by the way, in the Bible, God always separated the opposites. We're going to see that here in just a little bit. But we've done several things on Glenn Beck. We've talked about him. I know he's popular. I know that, I watched him for a long time. I watched him. I thought, man, this guy talks real. I mean, he says what I want him to say. And he talks a lot about God and junk. And then I found out that he was a Mormon. That kind of went, well, the God that he's talking about is not the same God of this Bible. They're not the same God. Why evangelicals are courting this guy? I say I'll never figure it out, but I think I do get it. It is part of the routine and part of the plan that we're moving into right now. He's leaving Fox News, or he's quitting his daily program on Fox News. What does he have up his sleeve? I don't know. But I can tell you by the symbols that he represents himself with, there's not going to be any good coming out of this. And you just kind of, my question is, if you don't have, if you're really a good guy, why are you wearing the bad guys' T-shirts? Why are you wearing the bad guys' symbols? And I just kind of did a brief search, and I saw pretty much this same logo on a Masonic website. The two pillars, Jacob and Boaz, they talk about the crypt. The crypt is a very, very special and powerful symbol in Freemasonry, because the crypt is where the skull is. The dead guy. You see the Masonic image of a coffin. That it represents the beast who is in the pit. He's dead. He's in the grave. And he needs to be brought back to life, and he will be when the two pillars of the heavenly realm and the earthly realm are joined together in the royal arch by the keystone. Okay? They're fused together by the keystone. That's what that represents. So the fusion, all of this stuff. If you're a good guy, why are you wearing the bad guys' t-shirts? Now, let's move on. A couple of technology things we're going to deal with today. Somebody sent me this. Dining has no qualms with palm scans. This is, let's read the article here. University of Maine Dining Services is testing a program for entry to its facilities that could replace the use of Maine cards with a, quote, hands-on experience for students with meal plans. Over the next month, Dining Services will be testing a pilot program that uses a scan of an individual's palm in place of his or her Maine card. The program uses infrared technology to recognize the meal plan's user's palm and links that image to that person's Maine card account. Instead of swiping your card, the program is going to identify you by the palm. Oh, let's see, by the palm of your hand. Let's see. I've read that somewhere before. Is it in Revelation? Yes, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name where? In their right hand. Let's look at the picture here. Well, look at there. It's his right hand. Imagine that. This is desensitizing everybody. Notice they're starting out with college students. College students, they're very ambitious, and they want to get into the new world. They want to create the world. They want to be part of the new world. Notice that this is not being test marketed at the senior center. Okay? It's not because seniors are going, I'm not putting my hand there. What's this all about? This is not the way we used to do it back in the old days. Then you're going to see it moving into the elementary schools. Instead of kids getting, and I remember in school, I got a little lunch card, little blue lunch card, and there was a nice old lady who sat there at a little desk when we would line up for lunch, and before we could get our container of milk, she took our lunch ticket and went snip like that. You know what? It was personally identifiable because it had my name on it, written down. Okay? But you'll start to see this in schools. It's just about getting everybody. And I caught this when Mobile came out with their Speed Pass. You have this thing on your keychain, and it's got a radio chip in it, and you buy your gas, and you just put that thing up to the gas pump, and all of a sudden, bleep, you've paid for your gas. And that was like 10, 15 years ago, and I'm going, I think I know where this is going. Okay? So do we not recognize people who have their cell phone in their hands? We talked about this. Pull up the software. By the way, I got something here. Here it is. Cell carriers to roll out mobile wallets in Utah. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but they're using their cell phone now to scan and pay for things. Anything that has to do with their hand, either their palm or their handheld device or whatever it is, getting them used instead of reaching for their wallet, which I will admit, when I pull up to the drive-thru at Mickey D's, the last thing I want to do is lean this very large, heavy body over and try to grab with my newly repaired shoulder my wallet out of my back pocket. Boy, it would be so much easier if I could just go, hi, and it's paid for, right? We're getting used to it, okay? So here's this system. Cell carriers to roll out mobile wallets in Utah. We talked about this very program, a joint venture between three. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. Three of the nation's four largest cell phone carriers will soon offer the United States' first commercially available mobile fare payment program to a public transportation system, and it's called Almighty ISIS. A mobile commerce joint venture between AT&T Mobility, T-Mobile,